Welcome everyone. Welcome to our friends that are joining us. And here is Alberto too. Welcome. So we are very, very, very happy to be here with all of you in this beautiful time of the whole planet, really. So holding this high vibration and bringing our awareness into this portal to emotional healing. And if we can all together close our eyes to open this portal together, inhale, centering in our heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. So we're here also with Diana, that she's gonna tell us some words, since we're gonna share this video in the Conscious Life Expo page. So hello Diana, how are you doing?
Hello, it's lovely to be here and be here with everybody, and this is such a intense time for everybody in so many ways, and so we brought this wonderful group of people together to share with you different approaches to emotional healing on many different levels, from neuroscience to shamanism to music and to meditation. And so this will hopefully give you tools and modalities and inspiration to be able to bring into your life, so that when you're feeling like you're moving further away from a place of joy, to help you bring yourself back. Because in the 5 elements theory, joy is the balance of all the emotions in the emotional kaleidoscope. And we visit all the different emotions, and that's healthy throughout the day to go through different emotions. But the problem is if we get stuck in one, and then it becomes a more and more intense emotion, and then we create a whole story around that. So the idea is to be able to move fluidly, like you see a child moving through emotions. And so I'm just going to start with a little technique to share before we move fully into the program with everybody. And it's an emotional freedom technique. So it's actually based on acupressure, and all the different meridians have a different psychological and emotional aspect. So I want you to just think about something that you would like to release or let go of, and something that you would hope to be able to bring in the positive throughout this webinar and take away with you. So if you'd like to just take some nice, deep, relaxing breaths, and just whatever first comes up, we're going to start to think about that. And then I want you to create like a tripod with your fingers, and you're going to be tapping on this point, which is also actually happens to be the thymus gland, which will also help to strengthen your immune system. And you can say, even though I am feeling this particular emotion, I totally, completely love, accept, and respect myself. And then you just insert your feeling or emotion. We'll do it 2 more times. Even though I am experiencing these challenging feelings, I totally and completely love, accept, and respect myself. Even though I am experiencing these challenging feelings, I totally and completely love, accept, and respect myself. And then we're going to think of the positive thing that we want to tap in and say that I am completely joyful and happy at this time. I have the ability to stay strong and keep my emotions and feelings positive. I am so grateful, and I am so grateful for every moment that I am here. And I am so grateful for all my balanced emotions and feelings. And just let that sink in a little bit. And now we're going to think a little bit about how we're going to flow with the program. We're going to have some music, and we're going to have some meditation. Marbell Katz is going to join us on some meditations and guide us with that. And now Emmy is going to introduce Alberto Villaldo. Emmy?
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everyone, to be here in this healing field that we are creating. So Alberto Villoldo really is I'm really happy and proud and amazed that he's here with us. He's a medical anthropologist and also a modern shaman. I know Alberto for so long, years of using his books in helping people. He really is working for so many years, teaching philosophy and also practice energy medicine and also investigate neuroscience of enlightenment. So also he's a best-selling author. He wrote so many amazing books, and I'm so happy to have Alberto Villoldo with us. So welcome, Alberto. He's in Chile, so
Thank you.
amazing that you're here with us.
Thank you. It's great to be with you. It's great to be with all of you. And this is a topic that's really important today is how do we heal the emotions? And especially during these times when our fight or flight is being turned on because of these crises that we're living through in this tremendous pandemic. What happens with fight or flight is that we go fight, flight, freeze. If our fight or flight system is switched on, we freeze. We're paralyzed. Our immune system freezes, our emotions freeze, our life begins to shrink, our field of vision begins to shrink, and we don't see opportunities, we only see danger. So for the shaman and the shamans that I've studied with in the Amazon and the Andes, the very first thing you do is to reset the fight or flight system. They call it bringing the jaguar down from the tree. Because when the jaguar is spooked and scared, it's at the treetop, gnashing and growling and everything. But when it's calm, it comes down from the trees and it settles in the lower branches or in the base of the tree and just notices everything that goes by. Because the jaguar has no predators, it has no fear. It practices fearlessness. And I turn that into my daily practice today, fearlessness with wisdom, which means that I can go into my deep relaxation response, parasympathetic nervous system. And you can do that through a breathing practice, inhaling to a count of 3, exhaling to a count of 5. Because when we get scared, we go, and it's in the exhalation, make the exhalation longer than the inhalation, we reset the nervous system. There are very few ways to do that shamanically through energy medicine. You can do that. But as a shaman, I'm a modern shaman. I have spent so many years in the Amazon and the Andes, but we have an interface today with modern brain science. We know things that are just being discovered now by science, including how to reset the fight or flight system. We know that to change your mind, you have to change your brain. And we know that the brain changes through your diet, through what you feed it, and the brain changes through ceremony. It needs ceremony in order to change. That's why we have wedding ceremonies and bar mitzvahs and first communions. We need rites of passage. And today we need a rite of passage into a new world that we're waking up into every morning. So create ceremony for yourself. Touching a glass of wine with your beloved is a ceremony. But particularly the ceremonies that we're doing today are fire ceremonies. Take a candle and take a little hibachi stick or toothpick and blow into it those parts of you that have died, that are no longer living, or that need to die, those zombie parts of ourselves that are neither living nor dead, and put them in that stick and put it in the candle and the fire and hold it. And we need these ceremonies in order to change our brain. And then once we change our brain, we can change our emotions and we can change our mind. So for the shaman, you cannot heal your emotions. The understanding is that all emotions are toxic. They're ancient survival programs that are encoded in a very primitive part of our brain, a very ancient brain called the limbic or mammalian brain, which is the brain of fight or flight. So we need to come up to a higher brain that feeds on the fats, on the ketones, on the good fats, the coconut oil, the olive oil, and not on the sugars like the old brain feeds on. It's the sugar brain. We need to come up to this higher brain that can experience oneness, that can experience communion, that can practice forgiveness, but actually even get beyond forgiveness, because forgiveness still assumes that someone did something to wrong you. You go from forgiveness to gratitude, to saying, oh, thank you for teaching me. I never, ever want to learn this way again, but thank you for the lessons that the universe offered you. So you get rid of your emotions. Excuse me. You get rid of your emotions and you replace them with feelings. Feelings are authentic. Emotions linger. Feelings wash through you, but they don't sink roots into you. And if it lasts more than 20 seconds, it's not a feeling, it's an emotion. It's a toxic emotion. If you're still thinking about what you might have said or should have said, that lasts more than 20 seconds, feelings pass through you and allows the brain to reset itself. And feelings, you can experience anger or rage or joy, but it washes through you. They don't settle and they don't grow roots inside you. So you become a vessel for experience instead of a bundle of emotions that need to be repaired and healed. So I want to invite you to place those emotions into the fire. Put them remember we sat around the fire for 3 million years and we told stories by the fire, made love by the fire, helped our loved ones to die near the fire. Place in the fire that which you want to transform back into light. And the shamans of old understood that when you put a log in the fire, that you were setting free the bands of sunlight that had wrapped themselves around the trunk of that tree as the earth spun around the sun. They realized that they were setting that light free again. As you place your emotions that are in need of healing or of release into the fire, they turn back into light, into sustenance. And during these times of tremendous crisis are also times of tremendous opportunity. This is what we were born to be part of. We wanted to be part of this great transformation that is happening today. We came here to be medicine men and women, to help birth a new time, a new humanity, and a new world. So let's accept the invitation and say yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us and sharing those words of wisdom all the way from Chile. Blessing to have you with us. And now I'd like to introduce Ricky Byers, and she is an international musician and visionary, and has shared beautiful music for many years to many people all around the world. And so, Ricky, would you like to share with us?
Yes. And I wanted to thank Alberto for that beautiful presentation. That those words of wisdom, they were beautiful. And I was thinking about my feelings and my emotions, and the place of art in all of it. I kind of think that in this time that we're living, especially where I am in Los Angeles, and especially where I am, period. I mean, it's a lot going on down here, and it's not, everything is not as holy as this beautiful, this atmosphere that we have here in this call. So this is a nice respite. A lot is happening in my home, a lot of transitions, a lot of changes right now as we speak. So there's a lot going on, and finding that still spot, that place of peace is really very necessary for me. And during these times, I mean, I was listening to Alberto and the breathing. I was like, wow, I wonder what I don't know what window I was working out of yesterday when I was passing by a scene on the street, and all of these police cars were, I mean, they came from everywhere. It was just like a choreographic moment where one police car shows up. There's one black man on the ground. It looked like he might have been without shelter. And then it was four police cars, and they're drawing guns. And, you know, it's like, we got to go back, you know? And the person that was driving the car, it's like, well, if we go back, just know I am not going to be sitting in the car watching. You know, I'm going back to whatever happens with me going back, be ready for it. But I'm not going back there to witness anything. The Jaguar was on the scene. You know, it's like, I'm down, I'm out of the tree, I'm observing. But I will make a presence. I will make them know that we're watching wherever we are. And the feelings of that, the emotions, maybe that was an emotion. I don't know, but I know inside of me, what happens with my music, what happens with my voice, what happens in my life is that I find the place to restore, to return to what I know to be the truth. And I take the joys of that, and I take the sorrows of that, and it becomes something. It becomes art, it becomes music, it becomes a message. So I don't know how it happens. It's just holy the way it does. And I'm thankful that I show up on the planet at this time to sing and to inspire people toward a greater good. Here's a song that since Diana said I was going to sing, I don't remember that, but I know I said it. But in the senior years, sometimes you forget what you said. So anyway, this is a song. The name of the song is Ohm Shanthi. So I just invite everybody to breathe in, inhale when I sing Ohm Shanthi, Ohm Shanthi, Ohm Shanthi, Shanti Om, and exhale when I sing Ohm Shanti, Shanti. We can breathe and sing together. You can breathe, or you can sing along with me. Okay, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti 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 Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, inside my mind. Love and only love I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Ashe.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ah. And we have another beautiful soul that is here with us, and is Mabel Katz. Mabel Katz is also from Argentina, like me, and she is really traveling the world. Not now, but
Used to.
she she was for a long time healing the world through Ho'oponopono. And she always say that there is hope and love that come through an open and happy heart. So thank you so much, Mabel. It's an honor that you're here sharing with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me, for having. I hope I don't disappoint Diana. I didn't prepare a meditation today, but Ho'oponopono is actually my meditation. So I'm going to share with you why I consider it a meditation. It's just coming from that place of awareness, moment by moment, being the observer, moment by moment. So like we were saying before, Alberto, Ricky, everybody knows that emotions, there is nothing wrong with emotions, but the thing is that we think we are our emotions. We think we are our thoughts, our beliefs, our judgments. So we do have to become the observer, that part of us that really came to live the experiences, to make amends. Yeah, Ho'oponopono means how to make it right. We came to make amends, and everything that happens in our life, everything is perfect. There is always a blessing behind, but we react. The problem is not the problem, but how we react to the problem. So how is it that we can become that observer? How we can let those feelings go through, like Alberto said, yes? And not identifying with that, knowing that we are more than those thoughts, more than those beliefs and those feelings and those judgments. So when you start realizing who you really are and the power that you have, and you don't identify with them, you can separate and become the observer and let go. Ho'oponopono is about letting go and letting God. We want those to be transmuted. We have to realize that life is not happening really on this plane. Everything is showing us, it's like the monitor, and it's showing us all the memories that are playing in our subconscious mind. Most of our reactions actually have to do with past lives. Everything that is in our life, difficult people, circumstances, everything, everybody that knows how to push our buttons, actually we've been together before. So again, knowing who we are, being able to be more present. Yes. So, because if you are engaged, if you are depressed, it's too much of the past. If you are worried, you're too much of the future. And we need to realize that all we have is this moment. And in this moment, we can change our life because we decided to let go, because we decided not to take it personally, because we actually stop the reaction to it. So Ho'oponopono is about 100% responsibility, and a lot of people don't like that because they confuse it with guilt, So I'm not here to tell you you are guilty, but you are 100% responsible. That when I found out that I was 100% responsible, I really felt free for the first time in my life. I was a very Argentinian person that wanted to change everybody, because I was right and everybody else was wrong. So, and even though if I convinced them, or I made them behave the way I wanted, I was not happy. See, so we need to realize that as you take responsibility, as you realize you created it, now you have the power and control to change it. That's what we need to realize. That's 100% responsibility. I created it, I can change it. Otherwise, we keep blaming and complaining, thinking there is something out there that needs to change. And I think the universe is very clear right now, and it's really in front of our faces. If we want this to change, we need to change. Yeah, so I have a world peace campaign. Is peace begins with me, with us. Peace within is world peace. And I think this is what we really need to practice. Again, not to take it personal, to let go of the past. We keep going back to the past, watching those old movies, really sad movies and something. And I think to the new earth, we won't be able to take that heavy suitcase. We will have to let go. So this is the perfect time to look inside. This is the perfect time to take that responsibility, to reinvent ourselves. When things happen, you can just say thank you to the things. So I'm not saying you're not gonna have any more feelings anymore, and you're not gonna feel any more fear, or you're not gonna worry anymore. But when you are aware, you can put that distance and say thank you, but I'm not buying. Yes, you don't allow those things to control you. Yes, so you can, the fear is there, but you say, thank you, but I'm busy. I don't know how many of you read the book from Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, My Stroke of Insight. So she says it's really comic to really observe our intellect. It's talking all the time and making stories and having opinions. So you have to realize that's not you. And you just say, thank you, but I'm busy. Thank you enough, or whatever. So Ho'oponopono became famous for 4 phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. But I just want to clarify, Ho'oponopono is I'm sorry, please forgive me for whatever is in me. Like innocent children, we come to God and we say, I'm sorry, I don't know what is in me. Again, most of the time, past life memories replaying. So, and you come and you are allowing God to transmute. That is the only way. Science are talking about all the problems are in the subconscious mind. God is the only one that can work on our subconscious mind. And we have to give permission. So right now we are living amazing times. We have to meditate 24 hours a day. We have to try to come from this energy 24 hours a day, where we don't react as much, where we take responsibility, when we work on ourselves. And I'm open for questions later or whatever. I don't want to take too much time, but that's basically it.
Thank you, Mabel. Beautiful, like always. Thank you. And muchísimas gracias. And we have an amazing musician. It's all amazing people today. It's a delight here. It's beautiful. So we have someone that is very special also. Diana, can you introduce him?
Yes, I would like to introduce Stephen Halpern. He is a twice Emmy-nominated New Age musician. He's the founder of New Age Music. And he today is going to share with us how healing music can affect our emotions. And he's also a renowned sound healer as well. So now I'd like to introduce Stephen Halpern.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome, Stephen.
Great. So this was really interesting because I couldn't hear most of what the other panelists were saying, except very barely through the cell phone, through my phone line. So I hope you could hear me better now. And what I would share with you today is that my training and my background and experience has been to help our human instrument to tune itself, literally by giving some of the raw materials, the vitamins of the airwaves, as it were, when I was involved in my initial graduate research involving music and consciousness, music and healing, we were looking at biofeedback, brainwave biofeedback, and Curlian biofeedback to measure the electromagnetic field around the body. And one of the scientists that we worked with was Itzhak Bentov. And what he had verified with his groundbreaking research is that when you balance the chakras and you balance the brain waves, self-programmed and pre-programmed, genetically pre-programmed processes take place in our body, mind, and spirit. Well, I'll turn all that off. Take place in our body, mind, and spirit that will balance the emotions as well as the physical organs. So my process then has been to do my teaching and training through audio, mostly, as well as the workshops that I've done. The first album that I put out and released into the public was basically always called the Chakra Suite. And Anodio will go into greater depth on working with the chakras. But the beauty of working with sound is that all you need to do to assist the healing and the balancing of the emotions is to align the pre-existing frequencies and organs in the body. And if not all you need to do, that will get you a good deal into the centered place, because when you listen to music like the music that I've done and now many other artists, you tap into a place of inner peace. When I'm composing, I have to be in a very balanced state of inner peace, and I tap into the space between the notes in sound. It's a very mindful place. And from that place where the balance, where I am in balance, is part of what's recorded in the energetic field of the music that then goes out. And when you listen to, you resonate and get entrained to that same state when you listen. So the concepts of entrainment and brainwave entrainment are getting more and more well known now. The beauty of it is that it's an automatic process. You can't tell your brain to not respond to being trained to the frequencies, particularly of an album like Deep Alpha or Deep Theta, that have an additional overlay of brainwave entrainment tones, in the same way that when I would snap my fingers, if you are feeling your heartbeat right now, you would feel that your heartbeat is actually speeding up, because it is rhythm and training automatically being taken over by the external rhythmic stimulus. So it's not something we have a choice about. So in looking at how we can balance ourselves emotionally, particularly for people who are dealing with adult HDAD, or years ago were called type A individuals, some of the psychotechnologies that we work with are, as we started today, taking a deep breath. And even if you listen to just 1 minute of music that is proven and that gets you into a state of deep relaxation and balance, you're half of the way there. Now, with what's available in the streaming platform universe, or even the sound samples, Amazon, I think, only gives you 30 seconds. So it's really hard to get a sense of the music. On my website, I have a minute of free music. So any of the albums that I have, if you only have 1 minute to balance and meditate, you can tune in. So it's like an ex-New Yorker's, I don't want to wait 20 minutes to get relaxed. What do you have that'll get me relaxed and balanced in 1 minute? And that's a lot of what I've been doing in my recording career. I also have always recommended that people use their own voice, and the classic primordial sound to tune in to the primordial frequency and harmonics of the universe is the mantra Om. So just by oming Om yourself, sometimes it gets a little boring, but there are so many places on the internet now where you can ohm along with a website. On my website, I have an album that actually is called Ohm Zone 432. So it's tuned down from normal standard pitch to the frequency where A is a harmonic of the Schumann resonance of the earth itself, that just to add your voice and literally massage your organs vibrationally and acoustically, you put yourself in a more easily balanced state where you tap into the larger power source of the earth itself. That's why we feel so good when we get out in nature, away from the 5G and the 4G and everything else that we're surrounded with in cities, and your body naturally bio-entrains to the natural frequencies. And when you get into a state, tuning into the world in the 8 cycle per second alpha state, your not only your physical body, but your brain waves balance, and you are shifting into a balanced state of alpha wave, and the alpha state, which allows you to entrain more easily with the harmonics of peace and harmony in this world. And I think at that point, my time is over. So thank you very much. Namaste. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry that there was a little technical difficulty there. It's an honor to have you on with us, really, and sharing such powerful information and all the scientific connections with healing and music. And it's amazing how we have all that information now available to us.
This music that we are hearing is Stephen music. So beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So important. Sound healing vibration. So, wow. So we have another beautiful, amazing shaman that is here with us. He is, well, right now it seems like he's in Machu Picchu, but he's in Peru. Many of us know him because he does all kind of shamanic work and go to the root, the depth of this work. So welcome Jorge Delgado from Cusco, Peru.
It's welcome, Jorge. It's wonderful to have you again here with us.
Blessings from the light. Always the beloved Pachamama finds incredible ways to assist us. In our tradition, we believe that the beloved Pachamama's presence is through many other mothers that they are assisting in our path. And very specific for the emotional body is Mama Cocha. Mama Cocha is the mother lake, the mother sea. She's the one who guides us in our emotional journey. She's the one who is guiding by the perception of the womb. Well, some people says it's only for women, no, also men. Also men, we have womb, but etheric womb. So we can rebirth again. In the process of transformation, it is really about our own journey with the support of all the mothers, all the masters, all life. But we have a homework. It is one at a time. It is when we have to deal with our weaknesses and also with our gifts, our talents, our strength. What is our strength? Our strength is our inner sun, our own light. And the most important for us is that the beloved Pachamama and the beloved Pachatata or Pachacamac, they are anchored in our hearts. When we are clear about that, then we can clarify the densities of the emotions that we are carrying, so we don't need to carry those anymore. Of course, that's the ideal for everybody, because nobody wants to carry those toxic energies with us. Because we noticed that in all our world, we manifest a world in the situation where we are now because we come from those kind of energies. If we really want to see the new world, we have to see the new version of ourselves, but not just in the intellect. The most important is how we will shine in this new day, how we are giving the first steps in how we are thinking, drinking, sleeping, walking, talking, all our activities every day. If we really understand this new cycle as a Wilkakuti, if we are really returning to the sacredness of life, the blockages, of course, we create to don't shine. Those blockages we have in the emotional body, and those blockages we magnify. Those blockages are alive. Those energies, the hucha energy we call, we just say it's heavy. We don't say it's negative or positive. Like the refined energy is alive, the heavy energies are also alive. If it's alive, it needs food. If it needs food, what kind of food needs? Needs heavy energy food. So that's why when somebody is with too much heavy energies inside, we are not comfortable with ourselves because our nature is not to carry that kind of energy. So we are not comfortable with ourselves, and we find anything as a good excuse to produce more of these heavy energies. So these heavy energies, hucha, will reflect in the others. So it's the other's fault. It's the situation. It is so many things that it could be the good reasons to be unhappy. The only thing we are looking is just to feed the heavy energy off. But of course, the most important is the how we do that. We have so many ways. We can go through the pathway of the serpent. We can follow the pathway of the puma. We can follow the pathway of the condor. Malkukuntur. It's amazing teacher. So the Malkukuntur, the beloved condor, the condor is a great teacher that when they are soaring, they are looking for food. When they arrive to a specific point and they see the food, they go and see, they check very close. Even some of the condors, they touch the food they found. But then the second step, they separate from it. So first step, to accept it's there, okay? And then we separate, we fly. Well, actually the condor doesn't fly exactly, but we can use that word. It soars, follows the winds, the movements, the currents. So they go far away, as much far possible, and sees the big picture. And when we see the big picture, we can see very clear how it's connected. Who brought this food? What for? It's there. So then the condor will see some baby pumas nearby there. And then the condor will make a discernment. But the discernment is not only with the mind. It had to be with the heart. Otherwise, it was just a good try. So when we see it with the eye of the heart, we have 11 eyes. So when we use all the eyes, we understand life. So when we see with the eye of the heart, we can make a very clear discernment. We clarify and we understand that food was brought by the mothers of these baby pumas. So the condor has a choice, take the food or not to take. And the condor, of course, will say, I will leave it to the baby pumas. So then the baby pumas, they grow and later they will bring more food because the condors, they don't kill for to eat. The pumas, they don't finish all the meat. Always they leave some leftovers. So first step, acceptance. Second step, separation. Third step, discernment. And the fourth step is what you get from that experience. The gift, the awareness, the wisdom. Of course, it's easy to say. The thing is how you really face those emotions in the practice. For example, if I feel some anger, okay? So in my mind, I will say it is not really anger. It is, you are like this because, today is cloudy day. Yeah, it's the weather. Okay. You can lie in the mind, but you cannot lie in the emotional body. It's there. So we accept that, okay, I am feeling that anger. So when we feel that, we can always observe, we separate. The observer is the inner condor, separate from the self and has the big picture. Why, how, when, what causes that kind of energy? How is interconnected with the experience of life? So how we are carrying and feeding those kind of energies? How does it come, the reflection of it, a good excuse to bring unhappiness, even with all our relations? So when we accept, we observe, and we bring it to our light, the inner sun, we see it with the eyes of the heart. We see it under the light of the inner sun. We can clarify it. Clarity is the first quality of the light. And as a children of the sun, we can use all the 7 qualities of the light to expand our brightness, our essence as love, service, and wisdom that each of us we are. So to be in this reality and understand the process, we really have to clarify all our emotions. That's a very important step in order to bring this ray of light that each of us, we are as a children of the sun. We are in a sunrise, and each of us, we are raised from the same sun. Everybody with own gifts, everybody with own contribution. We are here to bring optimism for life. We are here to bring more transparency. We are here as a contribution to life. We are life. And life, we support each other. All what is alive is one. There is only one life. And there is only one mother and one father. And we are together. That presence in our inner sun, in our hearts, it is really the reconnection with our own souls, which is a must. We must connect with our souls, with our spirits, because otherwise we are going to be just using the mind. We need to use all our bodies. There is all the potential to build this new cycle, this new world, the new humanity that is key to harmonize all the relations, all the family of the Mother Earth and the Father Sun. We are not the only creatures of the Mother Earth. All expressions of life are creatures of the Mother Earth. They are our family. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Ahayu.
Thank you for the Ahayu, for Hayaya. Hayaya is the word.
Ahayu for all of us.
Ahayu.
Thank you.
Jai vibration. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jorge, for bringing that energy from the Andes. Thank you.
And Jorge is going to be joining us for a 2-day webinar in August 1st, and talking about the qualities of light and the impact of the new light and solar shamanism. So I'll put that link in the chat box so you can learn more. Thank you so much, Jorge. And now I'm going to introduce Anadea.
Yes, we're going to introduce Anadea, that, well, she is very well known for many years. And I have to say that I would say at the end of the 80s in Argentina, even if I was doing all kind of yoga and my background is Vedanta, she helped me with her books to understand the chakras in a more deeper way. It's interesting to explain this. So I want to introduce Anodea, that she has a lot of amazing books, 9 books that she wrote about the chakras, psychology, energy, yoga, all kind of things she did. And also she has an amazing video that is the Illuminate Chakras, that I love that video. I saw it so many times. So thank you, Anodea. Thank you for your amazing work.
Thank you so much. And I'm following so many beautiful words. And Jorge, that was so beautifully spoken, and everyone that has been before. So I'm deeply honored to follow on the tails of all of you. And my view of emotions comes from my many years. I haven't done it lately because I've been in the workshop world, but I did 20 years as a psychotherapist, somatically body-based psychotherapist. So mostly I was helping people with their emotions. And I came to understand emotions as a charge. And that's my word for it. So you might feel the charge of anger, you might feel the charge of sadness. Charge is your life force. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It is nothing to push away. It is the living life force moving through you, moving through all your chakras, your energy centers. I say that charge, CHARGE, stands for consciousness having a really genuine experience. So in other words, if you have the charge of a feeling going through you, you know that you are alive in that moment. And I think you spoke so beautifully, Jorge, of the soul, that emotion is the language of the soul. You know, intelligence is the language of the mind, but emotions is the language of the soul. It's the texture of our experience. So we don't want to get rid of emotions. I think that many people in the culture, especially the dominant white culture, have tried to get rid of emotions. And now we're doing horrible things without feeling what we're doing. And I think right now, as we're at these times of the earth, we need to feel the grief of the mother. We need to feel the grief of what we're doing, because that is a motivation. That charge motivates us to take action. If you're a person of color right now and you're reading the news and you're reading about yet another innocent Black man that has been the victim of police brutality, you're going to feel something. And we don't want to take that emotion away and say, oh, no, that's okay. You shouldn't feel anything about this. This is important. But at the same time, we need to be able to handle the emotion and have that life force harvested into the body without it running us wild. So it is not carrying us, we are carrying the charge. And so the strength of an emotion is equal to the strength of its charge. If you have a little bit of irritation over, you know, some technological failure or something someone said, that's a small charge. If you're very angry at something someone did, that's a bigger charge. If you're enraged about it, that's a bigger charge yet. So when people have trouble handling their emotions, what we're really saying is not the emotion, it's the charge of it. They have trouble handling that much charge in their body, that much grief, that much anger, that much fear. And we know that, you know, if you feel afraid, there's a charge of emotion that comes right through your body instantaneously. And, you know, I know that tapping, which you introduced at the beginning of this call, works to bring down your charge so it's more manageable. But at the same time, that is our life force. So we don't want to minimize it. We want to be able to have that motivate us to move forward. The reason charge is hard to handle is because of all the times in our past, especially as children, when we were told, don't feel that way, don't make so much noise, stop your crying, don't be upset, when there really was something we were feeling. And so we had to sit on that charge. We had to push it down in the body where it gets blocked. And when we do that, it takes up room in the body. These old emotions become encrusted and they take up room in the cellular tissue of your body, take up room in your soul, take up room that you might want to have for joy and expansion and happiness and excitement. But these old emotions take up room. And then when the charge of a new emotion comes in, you don't have any room for it because you have all these old suitcases that you're carrying around. So what we need to do is learn how to handle the charge and learn how to release it from our body. We can release it through shamanic practices. We can release it through dance. We can release it through song. We can release it through music. We can release it through words. We can write poetry. We can speak what we're feeling. We can take it into action. We can move it through our body. We can do it with yoga. There's many, many ways to move that charge through the body. And when we do, we make room for new charge to come in. And charge comes in with every breath. Charge comes in with the sunlight, with the smell of the flowers, with the beauty of nature, with the hug from a friend, with love that we feel from our children or towards our children. charge comes in all the time. We want to have room for this charge to be joyous and expansive and fill the soul with light. As you were talking about, Jorge, we are light beings and we are children of the light, dancing on the Pachamama, dancing on the earth, who is shining with light. So we want these old emotions out of the way and we want the charge out of them. So we need to discharge. And then when we do, we have more room. And so I love what you had said about acceptance, that when we're feeling it, we accept, yes, this is what's going on with me. And to be able to have the wisdom to separate. So I'm just repeating your words here, Jorge, but I would say to feel the charge, to say, oh, I have a charge in my body right now. I have a charge in my body because of what just happened, or because of, what I'm going through, or because of what I read on the news. And to say hello to that charge and get out of the story, as many of us have said, you were just here to bring that charge alive in my body. And can I not block the charge, but allow it to move through me, harvest it into my tissues for greater aliveness by letting go of the story and say, thank you for bringing up my emotions so that I can have that charge and feel alive. And if the charge is too much to handle, it's because we're only carrying it in one part. It's like carrying a very heavy suitcase with one arm. Well, if you take the same weight and you put it in two suitcases, it's much easier. So when the whole body can carry the charge of our feelings, we feel fully alive, fully awake, and we can handle whatever comes our way, and we can handle it in a mature fashion, full of soul, full of feeling, but balanced, and not run by it, but we use that as an energy. So we harvest the charge into our tissue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. So many wonderful tools and modalities to work with our emotions. So thank you so much. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Anodea. Thank you, Jorge, Steven, Mabel, and also Ricky and Alberto. And thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for joining us, and thank you everybody that's here experiencing this. Thank you also for joining us, and I hope that we'll all integrate everything that we learned.
And in the way that we open this portal, we're gonna close it. We're gonna close our eyes, breathing deeply. Connecting with ourselves. Breathing to our heart. Expanding this love, this light to heal the heart and emotions of the whole planet Earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. Thank you.